Good day, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
You have to wake you guys up or what? Yeah? Well,
Fire away.
go ahead.
First of all, Brady Skjei trade is done. We haven't seen.
Yeah, actually, it's the league's backed up pretty good here right now, so we're still working on some things there. But yeah, I think it's pretty well known. It's out there that we traded Brady to Carolina.
For a first round pick?
Yeah, right.
Is it Toronto's or is it Carolina's?
Yeah, I'll talk about it when it's done, but it's one of them.
Just want to be official about it.
Yeah.
Why was that the right move for you guys to make?
I think when we looked at everything, organizational depth, where we're strong, where the players we have coming, the opportunity, we've spent a lot of time talking to our scouts and being a strong draft. We just felt like the position we're in to add another first-round pick, to have some flexibility in the cap. And when you added it all up, we just felt like it was the right move.
It gives us 19 picks in the next 2 years, the next two drafts, and 3 in the first round, 1 in the second, 4 in the third, I think it is.
Yeah.
And that's important to us when we're going through this process of building a franchise.
When you guys were weighing all the decisions, how much of it was the team's playing really well right now, they're making a push, and how much of it was we need to think about the future still?
Yeah, I think it's both. Obviously we're pretty happy with how we're playing. A lot of people have stepped up. I think that but our job is to look big picture too. So I think you see that with Chris. We signed Chris and kept him as a Ranger to address that and going forward, and have him here was important to us. We looked at everything, and obviously we're well aware of what our team's doing, and we're happy with how we're playing, and we will continue. We're going to try to continue that, but we're looking big picture also.
Was there a doubt that you would sign Chris, or was it something that you just knew that it was going to get done one way or the other?
Yeah, there's always doubt in the negotiation that with a deadline coming right behind it. We were talking for a long time here in the last couple weeks, and thankfully we were able to get a deal. But yeah, for sure that we had to talk to some teams and go through some scenarios that if this doesn't happen, are we ready for that? And there was obviously the possibility that he might have to be traded.
Why was he so important? You obviously worked really hard on this. Why was he so important?
With Chris? Well, I think it's obvious on the ice. What he brings on and off the ice to our team. When you look what he's doing, his emergence, we feel like he's still getting better. And the fact that his size, his skating, his scoring ability, this combination he has with Mika, his power play ability, when you add it all up, it's a player that we've had in an organization for a long time, and we've watched the strides he's been making, and now when you weigh all the options and having him leave versus keeping him, it became more evident that we wanted to keep him.
How much in that arithmetic you just described, how much is he valued for? You have a young group here, and we all kind of know about what his sort of ethic is.
I think it all helps for sure. Even when you go to the summers, when he trains, he's I wouldn't say freak of nature, but he's a very well-conditioned individual, a terrific athlete in that sense. And we're young and getting younger. And you need people that can lead the way with those particular things in mind. Today in our league, it's not just showing up in training camp and training all winter as you try to play wherever you are. It's about 11 and a half months worth per season, per year. And Chris is very good at that. That's part of it for sure. Everything had to fit, though. I mean, when you do the pluses and minuses, the pluses certainly outweighed any of the minuses, but you also had to, and Jeff did a terrific job along with Matt Cater, the agent. They got together, and it took some time, and they found a way to hammer it out, and it made sense to both sides. If it didn't make sense to us, we would have had to move in a different direction. But they got it done. We're excited about Chris, and as Gort said, he plays well with Mika. It's a speed game. He's got power. He's been healthy his whole career. There's a lot of good things to think about.
Was figuring out what you were doing with Chris the first thing that you had to do before everything else fell into place?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, listen, it's a trade deadline, so there's a lot of things in the air at the same time. We've been going at this for a while the last few days, and that was certainly something was really important for us to to hopefully resolve in a contract. But one way or the other, we had to get to that one, and then move on to what else we had to look at.
So if you didn't sign Chris and you had to trade Chris, then you might have done other things after that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a hypothetical question. It's a hard thing for us to answer hypotheticals because it never happened. But we're certainly happy that Chris is a Ranger and excited about that. I will say, trading Brady Skjei is difficult, right? He's a special guy. He's a really good person. He's a good player. He's been a good Ranger. We do nothing but wish him the best. It's just a move that we felt we had to make.
To take you in the room for a second, when you get down to the deadline with these things, the last day or two, Jeff's making a lot of calls, just balls in the air all over the place. Chris Kreider did a lot of good work too. He's on the phone. He's he's associated with the American League with our club, and he's talking to people, organizations. So it's a pretty big deal when you're dealing with this amount of teams, and this whole thing worked very well together, from my mind, with all these different balls in the air all the time. Because what if, or what didn't, or what if, we have to be prepared, and I think we were.
Did the accident affect anything that you might have done?
No, I don't think so. Listen, it's an unfortunate incident that happened. We're thankful that it's the accident wasn't worse, and that these guys are going to be okay rather soon. So, no, I wouldn't say that.
It's Jesper's stand-up, right?
Jesper's here, yeah.
Was there any look at him?
Listen, a player like him is pretty well valued in the league, and we thought about a little bit of everything with Jesper, but at the end of the day, keeping him was something we felt like was important for our organization.
Henrik today said that he knows his role for the rest of the season, and he's going to have to sit down. He knows he's going to have to sit down with management at the end of the season to figure out his role going forward, if he has a role going forward. Just, we have you guys here now. What's your take on that situation right now, and what the future could be?
Well, we've got the 3 goaltenders. Right now, I'm happy we have 3 goaltenders here, especially with the injury. It's a non-displaced rib fracture. Hank's been, and you've heard it from us before, a terrific pro through all this. I watch most every practice, and he works his tail off. And I feel confident that he's ready to play when Quinny makes that call as we go through the rest of the season. I also think that this is something that we will sit down and talk about, for sure, because it's only fair to Hank and his family, and it's fair to us. And there's not really a lot else to say about it other than that. We will chat, we will talk. We've had many conversations with Hank through all this, and everybody's on the up and up and knows where everything sits. So I'm very confident in that we'll find a good resolution wherever we go, and I'm very confident that our group with Jeff and with Hank, the communication's been very strong, and he's been very professional, very professional.
How do you guys envision replacing Brady? I mean, are you going to call somebody up, or what's the plan there?
Yeah, I think short term, I think that Smitty has played pretty well indeed when we put him in there. So that would be my guess. I'll talk to Quinny tonight, and we'll go through everything, let everything settle in, and we'll talk tonight about what's next. But we're pretty comfortable with our depth in the organization. We've seen Libor come up and play pretty well. So we'll look at everything right now. Short term, it's probably going to be Smitty.
With the Skjei deal, you mentioned having the organization, the depth there, but beyond that, looking at the salary cap next year, with the Kreider signing, with the Shattenkirk buyout, I mean, was this also in part a move that gives you more flexibility next year? Was that important to you?
Yeah, I think when we first spoke about it, obviously, flexibility is important as we go forward. We have a number of guys that are on the last year of their deals that we'll have to look at. It all goes into it, right? Everything. We look at a little bit of everything when we make these decisions. It's not based on just cap, but it's a part of it. There's a lot of different factors, and that's how we come out and stand in front of you after we make our decisions.
You touched on this a little bit, but the position your team has played itself into 7-1, 10-3 since the All-Star break. This day doesn't sneak up on you. It happens every year. How much does that affect your approach over the last couple of days, just where you're at?
We'd love to keep on winning, and you always get curveballs in this business. Last night at whatever time it was when the phone rang about the accident that the 2 players had been in, that's a major curveball, and you have to deal with it. And we'll deal with all these things as they come along. We want our club to keep winning. We want them to go through the experience of a chase down the stretch for the playoffs. That's very important to young people in particular, and the veteran players too. And if we get there, fantastic. If we don't, it will be a good experience, and we'll just keep moving along as we're trying to build this into something. There's always steps forward, there's always steps backwards when you get into this type of build. And I say this through experience with the two clubs I was with previously in St. Louis and Columbus. You have to keep your eye on what the big picture is, and we have to make decisions with that in mind. That's just what it is when you try to get there. And we've told our fans, and it was told to our fans before I got here, and I've continued with the message, we have a plan. And that's what we're trying to implement here as we move along. Hopefully we keep on winning, hopefully we get there. If not, we just do our business to try to get to where we want to get to long term.
But you never considered altering the plan a little bit because of the position you're in? Because you're getting close to the playoffs?
Well, you consider everything. I mean, even in the summer when you sign a free agent like Panarin, that some people were saying, boy, they've lost their idea of the plan. No, he's going to be a terrific player here through this. So we're always going to keep every option open and think about them for sure. There's reality that sets in where everybody is, who your competition is, where your injuries are. Everything from A to Z plays into these factors. We just want to continue doing the right thing, and we're going to get there.
I know you said Paul was day-to-day, and he was pretty shaken up. But,
Yeah.
I mean, is it more just getting him over the accident and is it feeling good mentally to get him in? Or is, because you said there really isn't an injury there?
Nothing of significance, no. I mean, when you get rattled like that, you can be sore. But there's no, if you're talking about serious injuries where a shoulder popped out or a fractured leg or a dislocation, no, there's nothing there. It's just you shaken and you're bruised. That was a pretty good whack that the two of them took. All right?
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.